Yeah, I don't know a lot about all that, man. I've not been included in that.
No. Moving on.
Technical difficulties. Fired up, Steps.
Yeah.
Fired up. I got to make sure that I get out of the 30 seconds before I drop any curse words or anything like that so we don't get in trouble. But it drives me insane when I don't touch anything. I don't change any settings. I don't turn nothing off. I didn't do anything different from the show this morning. And we get in here. You got all these different technical difficulties. I'm ready to throw this thing out in the front yard, man.
You're good, though. You're good now. I can hear you. You look good. You sound
good. I'm not good. My blood pressure's up. My anxiety's up.
Take a breath.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Game On. This is Crick's Corner. A little later today. I am your host, Crick from sportspicks.logos.com, and he is Heavy Steps from right here at Game On. Joining me today, we'll make up for our having to miss Pump the Brakes last night, man. Maybe up the hockey match and all that stuff, but we got a lot going on in the world of hockey today, man. I've been sitting here for the last hour just watching the trade center and everything going on at the NHL trade deadline. Trade deadline was, I thought it was 2 p.m. Eastern today. It was actually 3 p.m. Eastern. And we've had a lot of kind of earth-shaking trades come in the last hour, man.
Yep. Some things changed down in Boston. They cleaned house.
Bro, we are. And I'm going to pull up a play here in just a second to show you. And it's kind of the epitome of the Boston Bruins season, man. And it happened last night in the game. And I'm pretty sure this is when they decided that the season was over, man. Am I froze up? Can you see me?
No, you're good.
We're good? Okay. I'm going to let this ad play through. I want to show you all this play last night. I feel like it's where the Boston GM was just like, okay, man, we're sellers at this point. It's been a rough season for these guys. They've been, they fired their coach early on, have not lived up to any of the expectations. And last night, it kind of all came to a head in that Carolina Hurricanes matchup in the last 20 seconds of the game, dude. But I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to show you. And I got a feeling this is right where can you see that, Steps? Is that pulling up all right?
Yep.
I've got this muted. I'm going to make sure we don't try to get any copyrights or anything like that. But I've got it muted. So anybody tries to copyright it on this, kiss my ass. Just know that. But watch this play, Steps. This is, mind you, it's tied 2-2. 30 seconds left in the game. If Boston wins this game, pretty sure they were only 1 point out of a playoff spot. But it gets pretty dreary if they lose this game. Just watch this play, man. See it there? We get they've got the puck, man. It looks like, you're going to be just fine. We're going to OT in this thing, right? Okay. Now watch right here. All right. We got 21 seconds left right here. And he goes to pass it up and his stick breaks. Turns it over to Seth Jarvis right there. And that's how they lose that game last night. Him trying to pass out 18.6 seconds left. Like I said, that was a big game for the Boston Bruins. As tough as the season has been, they were still in the mix, still had stuff to play for and all of that. And I got a feeling at that moment when that stick snapped and he turned and Jarvis buries that goal, I got a feeling all the big dogs up in the Boston box were like, this season's over, bro.
Pick the phone up.
Yeah, I guarantee you right then, right after he got done throwing shit all over the skybox, I got a feeling he was on the phone trying to figure out some of these crazy deals that had came together because they just traded away the heart and soul of their whole damn team in the last hour, man.
And didn't they change they traded the division rivals too?
To both of them.
Both teams.
Both of them. They traded a piece to both of them, and it's a piece that I think is going to help both of these other teams a lot. I mean, you're seeing a lot of that today at the trade line. You're seeing a few teams that we weren't sure if they were going to be buyers or sellers. They're going to try to, go all in for this thing. You've seen several teams like the Bruins. I mean, it's pretty apparent the Penguins, who've been having a tough season, they're sellers. The Islanders haven't had the season they hoped. They pretty much became sellers at this point. But you got some teams like the Panthers, defending champs, who are already in a good spot to be able to try to defend that thing. They put themselves in a better position over the last 48 hours. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are already having a good season, looking pretty good right now. And they wind up making some big moves that's really going to help the defensive side of the ice there for them. The Avalanche have made some big-time moves here in this thing. And, a couple teams that really look like they're going all in for this. And then there's a couple, like I said, like the Bruins, who have just really shown me. I mean, when you trade Marchand away right there, I mean, this is your captain. This is your
To
guy.
Florida.
To Florida of all places. It's going to be so weird to see that dude in a Florida Panthers uniform. But if you could put him on a second line with, like, when Kachuk gets healthy, you pair him up with, like, Kachuk and Sam Bennett, you got a pretty strong top six there when you start considering, like, Reinert and Verhage and those guys down there. Dude, I think Florida right now, the odds on Florida to win the whole damn thing and go back-to-back are something like plus 750, I think. And I think there's value on Florida there. And I also think there's value on the Maple Leafs at plus 1,200, man.
What is the Avalanche at?
The Avalanche is down to 10-1. They're at plus 1,000. I got a little ticket on them. I bet them a couple weeks ago at plus 1,400. And like I said, after the trades, they got Brock Nelson, very coveted center for the New York Islanders, a big key piece of that Islanders squad. They got him coming over. They also just picked up Charlie Coyle from those Bruins, sending Casey Middlestat up to Boston. And so that's another key piece. But you look in Boston, I mean, McAvoy's been down since the Four Nations stuff going on. So I don't know when. Probably not going to get that guy back for a little while now, if at all, this season. I don't really know what you're wanting to do there, but you get rid of Marchand. You traded. I'll tell you what I like. A move that I really like for the Toronto Maple Leafs is bringing Brandon Carlo over, man. That's a big, strong defenseman there. This guy's like 6'5". He's a long defender that can really shrink the ice, which is critical in playoff time, man. You got to be able to get in front of those guys, block some shots. He's not afraid to throw his body around out there. He's a physical guy. He's not going to give you he's only got like 9 points on the season. Not going to give you a whole lot of offensive firepower, but where he really separates himself is on the defensive end of the ice. And I do think it provides some more depth for the defensive end for Toronto there. And I think that's a big time pickup for them, man. He seems kind of excited. Like nobody was even really talking about this guy going anywhere. And all of a sudden in the last few hours, it all came together and he's sitting there and he seems pretty excited to go play with these guys. He knows what kind of squad they got up there with, Austin Matthews and Nylander and those guys. And I mean, he seems, a lot of times, I bet it's a lot of bittersweet mixed emotions for these dudes,
Yep.
You got a lot of love for the fans in these cities. You've been there for a while and, put the time in. You would obviously want to win a title in that city, but at the same time, all these guys grew up wanting to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup. You want to play with the best players in the world, and you want to play at the highest level in games that mean something. And so I'm sure it's kind of like, oh, shit, I hate to leave Boston, but at the same time, a lot of excitement from this guy because he's got a big chance going forward now, and he's going to be playing in some meaningful hockey in the next couple of months that he probably wasn't sure he was going to be playing in.
Yeah, well, especially now after last night.
So, yeah, dude, that I'm telling you, when I saw that, and I was like, I've been sitting here watching the trade center stuff, and they've done a pretty good job. The NHL, I like what the NHL is doing with their marketing and their coverage of different things and stuff like that. They do a great job of explaining it and breaking this stuff down for you. And I've really enjoyed watching this trade center thing today. But, yeah, it felt like nobody was expecting, a couple of these moves at the last second here.
What do you think about the Stars?
Dude, another big time move right there, bro. I really like Logan Stankoven that they traded away, but when you compare, in my mind, I think Logan Stankoven's a great player, but I think Mikko Rantanen in the right spot can be one of the best players in the whole damn league. And he was the Carolina when he came over there in that trade from the Avalanche, the big trade earlier in the month that sent Nietzsche's to Colorado. It looked like the Hurricane, Rantanen was wanting a long-term deal. He was wanting an extension. It didn't look like Colorado was willing to give him that yet. The trade to the Hurricanes, that feels like, I don't even know if we'll remember this short period of time that he played for Carolina because it was right before the Four Nations break, and then you had all that go on. And I just feel like this guy's only played about 5 or 6 damn games for Carolina. Maybe it's been a little bit more than that, but it doesn't seem like much more than that. And, they started talks with the Stars. And the Stars were willing to give this guy the extension that he wanted. He wanted some security, and he's going to get that. And I gets to go down and play alongside like Wyatt Johnston and Jamie Benn and Jason Robertson. And they need the Otter to start playing a little bit better. Ottinger in the pipes there, but he had a good game last night. And
how many years is he signed for?
They're still working on all that. They did
how much
say,
he want? 8?
I think 8 years. I think something like that.
That's what I saw.
And then he's a younger, what is he? Probably 25, 26, something like that. He's a younger guy, I feel like. But, yeah, I mean, you'll see a lot of these I feel like in the NHL, more so than even, baseball, you see it a little bit. But in the NHL, surprises me how long some of these contracts are for, dude. You see a lot of 8, 9, 10-year contracts.
You don't see as many moves as today, though, at the deadline. There was a lot of moves.
Dude, a lot of moves today. A lot of surprising moves, man. I'm going to get that.
What about the Jets?
What do you think, man?
And
Tell
the
me what you
Kraken.
think. How do you feel about it?
We swooped Buku's man.
I've seen that, man.
I'm
going to get this pulled up here, and we'll show you all the different moves that have happened today. But a lot of trade deadline moves. But yeah, refresh me on who did they pick up now? As I get this pulled up.
Tanev for a second-round pick.
Tanev, yeah. And, I think the Kraken are another one of those teams that were right there on the cusp and probably realize that this season's kind of slipping away a little bit. And
they're collecting a lot of picks.
Yeah, and that, dude, I'm telling you, that's a good way. Not only can you use those picks to draft some guys to be the future franchise and all that stuff, but you can use those as bargaining chips down the line. You get to next season, you like your spot you're in better, you can trade those picks around to bring in some of those dudes you're basically renting. You got some of these teams that are really willing to do that don't mind renting a guy for a couple months to try to take a shot at the cup and all that. And you got some of these teams that kind of like the Oilers and, the Flames, they don't really want to rent these guys. The Flames, I seen their GM talking about it a little bit, and they're like, we didn't really even look at some of these guys because we knew we didn't have a long-term chance to sign them to any kind of deal. And we didn't have any interest in renting somebody for a couple months because I feel like Calgary has kind of done it the right way. They're building it from a young core group of guys, trying to keep that core group of guys together. And so they don't really have interest in bringing anybody in that's not willing to sign with them long-term to screw that up.
Who's my Calgary guy?
Which one? I'm not sure.
My goal scorer.
Oh, Connor Zary, man. Connor Zary. Him and Sharangovich both scored the other night.
What could have been?
What could have been, man? I don't think that. I didn't think Calgary was very much. I didn't think they were going to make much noise this year. I think it would have been a good season for them, though, if they wind up making the playoffs, whatever. I'd have to look at the standings and see if they're even real close to that or if they have a chance. But it's been a more solid season than Calgary. The GM told him when he came in, it's going to be a 3 to 5 year plan. It's going to be one of those things where we're building toward that. And it seems to be right on track, dude. It really does.
Well, they showed up that night.
Oh, yeah. No, he's like I said, I think Calgary will be just fine in the long term. I think they will be a team that continues to get better next couple of years because of what I heard from that GM earlier in the interview they did with him. It seems like he's got a model laid out. He's got what he knows what he wants to do. And he seems to be sticking to that, man. So let's get over here and I'm neglecting our friends, man. Let me get over and say hello to our friends. What up, B-Mac? How you doing this afternoon? Good afternoon, Mont. Minnesota Bird Hunter says, biatch. Last Bolshevik, good afternoon to you, sir. Good to see y'all supporting in here. Grok told me to take the under in that game was 5.5 plus 103. Which one, brother? Devils to not make the playoffs, still around plus 600. Any trades would affect that? I'll tell you, I don't know. Devils may wind up squeaking in there. I just thought they were already falling off before Jack Hughes got hurt. And
Frank the Tank's a fan.
What's that?
Frank the Tank.
Oh, yeah. Frank Tank loves his New Jersey Devils, man. That's also a good reason to want to just fade them in general because then you get a Frank the Tank rant.
Because he never wins anything.
Yeah, you get a Frank the Tank rant when they screw up. But I still think there's value on betting the no on the Devils at plus 600, especially some of the other moves that some of these teams have made in the Eastern Conference to really bolster their squads and make them much better. Like, you didn't see the Devils making those moves, man. You didn't see them trying to correct that. I haven't seen anything from them at all. Like, I'm looking down through the trade, what's happened today, and I haven't seen anything from the Devils at all as buyers or sellers. They've just been quiet. They're not anywhere on this list. So, to me, they get Brian, and God, some of these names I'm going to screw up. DeMullen, maybe. But the Ducks get Herman Traff, 2025 second-round pick. But that's really all I've seen out of the Devils at all. And signing a defenseman that we don't really, not one of the bigger name defensemen, doesn't seem like the type move that's really gearing you up for a run, like I said, with a team that ain't been playing great anyway. So I don't feel like this was the big trade a couple days ago. And boy, they came through big time last night. The damn Lightning and who were they playing last night? Was it the Sabres?
Kraken got 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick. They picked up a second-round pick today.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The Kraken are piling them picks up, but both these guys, Yanni Gord and Oliver Bjorkstrand, who came over from the Kraken, played their first game with the Lightning last night. a 6-5 victory over the Sabres for the Lightning. And Yanni Gourde, they both had one of them had 2+ points, and the other one had a goal, I believe. So both immediately showing their impact down there. And I'm telling you, Tampa Bay, I like the way this Tampa Bay team's getting right. I do. It's a group of guys that have been there. You know, they won back-to-back Stanley Cups a couple years ago, or maybe 2 out of 3, something like that. They played in 3 straight, I think it was. But a team that's been in the playoffs year in and year out for the last decade or so. They know how to win. They got a good culture down there. This team feels like they're getting right at the right time, dude.
Gave up a lot of goals last night.
They did give up a lot of goals. Scored a bunch too, though.
Sabres got Norris.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, from Ottawa.
And there's a couple other the Sabres, I don't know how I feel about that team. I really don't. I think they're another one kind of like Calgary, but they're one that feels like I feel like Calgary's doing a better job than Buffalo.
They're not even 500, I don't think.
Yeah, and they made some trades last year at the trade deadline, I feel like, to bring some younger dudes in and try to bolster that thing to build for this year, and I don't think it's worked out quite the way they thought it would. See, Golden Knights get Riley Smith, retain 50% of Smith's salary. The Rangers get Brendan Brisson and a 2025 third-round pick from San. This is what's so crazy, dude. You start reading through these things, and you got, like, somebody trading somebody's pick, like not even involved in the trade and stuff because they picked it up in a trade 3 damn years ago or something. It's just crazy, all this different. That's what I'm saying. That's what the Kraken, I feel like, are doing right here. I'll bet you right now the safest bet is the Kraken do not use all of those picks that they've gained the last day or so. Those will wind up being trade pieces next year or something, man.
Yeah.
Rangers got Carson Soucy. Canucks
Nelson getting traded. That was pretty big.
Yeah, that was a big one. Brock, yeah, he's up here somewhere. Like I said, I think this is March 6th, and those will be up here too. I didn't pass that one up, did I? Because that is a big trade.
No, I think that was today, wasn't it?
It was either late last night or I think it was maybe last. Here it is right here. Actually, it looks like that was on. I think that was yesterday.
Might have been last night, yeah.
Yeah, Avalanche get Brock Nelson and William DeFore. Islanders get forward Colin Ritchie, defenseman Oliver Kylington, 2026 first-round pick, and a conditional 2028 third-round pick. So those conditional picks can wind up being pretty nice, too. See, this is what I don't understand. Like this right here. Like, okay, the Ducks get
considerations.
Yeah, Oliver Kylington, and get future considerations. What does that mean?
That's like a player to be named later.
Okay, that's what it is, like baseball. Okay.
I'm just guessing.
So how does that stuff work? Explain that to me. You being the baseball guy and the player to be named at a later date and all this stuff. How does that work out, man?
I'm sure they have like something in mind as to what they want or a list of players. Maybe they have to wait until like some money pulls through, and then maybe they have to make a different deal in order to be able to take on that other player. Stuff like that.
Okay. I've just always wondered about that because I'm like, how do you a player to be named later? Like, why wouldn't I just name the worst player? All right, you get this guy.
Well, because there could be more deals happening.
Do they get to pick now?
It could be like if it was maybe a tier. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right. Okay. And what up, Cheap Pete? How you doing over there in the YouTube chat? And Derp, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Yeah, we were late. We had some technical difficulties today, Derp. My computer was tripping out, and y'all know me being the tech genius that I am. Gave me a little trouble there.
And it takes 15 minutes for his computer to restart, apparently.
Dude,
allegedly.
It takes a good 10 by the time it loads all these updates and different stuff.
Jeez, dude.
Like I said, it's a big computer. It's a nice computer. Uncle Bob bought it and all that stuff. But I don't know nothing about this stuff, and I just know it. That's how long it takes, man. For me,
when I was waiting for you, I was talking to Will, and we were talking about how you probably have like all these high-tech programs on your computer, and you don't even know it.
I have no idea. None. I don't know how to use them.
Like Adobe Illustrator or
something. Dude, I probably have all this stuff. I probably have
video editing software. I have it all,
dude. I guarantee you. I got all kinds of things down here, little apps that I'm even afraid to click on because I'm afraid I'll make my computer blow up. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a nice computer. I shouldn't have the problems that I have. I especially shouldn't have the problems that I have when I don't touch anything.
Yeah.
It worked just fine this morning. Man, after the show this morning, y'all, I'm not going to be typing my picks out today. I will tell you, we're going to go over some picks and stuff here in just a few minutes, and we'll tell you what we like tonight. But there's not a really big slate. And, dude, after that morning show this morning, I was running on fumes, man.
Yeah.
I was going to try to stay up, and I was sitting here for a minute, and I was about to doze off. I went in there and lay back down. I got me a good nap in today, bro, recovering from last night. I think I slept the rest of that Jaeger buzz off.
Oh, jeez.
I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better now, man. Feeling better.
Good.
Let's see here. Kings get Andre Kuzminko and a 2025 7th round pick, and the Flyers get a 2027 3rd round pick. There's Senators get Dylan Cousins, Dennis Gilbert, a 2026 2nd round pick from the Sabres. Get Josh Norris and Jacob Bernard Docker. There's your Jets getting Luke Shin. These names are tough, dude. I've been sitting here listening to the Trade Center, hoping I can pick up on some
better
of these
you
names.
for me. Better you than me. I'd be called a fraud if I was saying names wrong. So good thing you're saying them, not me.
Here's the Penguins. They're another team that looks like they're kind of rebuilding. We know they're on the back end of the Sid the Kid run, and Evgeny Malkin's up there in age too. I feel like they're like 36 and 37 respectively. So they've been the face of that franchise for 2 damn decades now, and I feel like by trading some of these guys away, you're starting to pick up some picks in the future. Penguins are going to have to go into rebuild mode sooner than later, I feel like. But there's the big one you're talking about. The Jets getting Brandon Tanev. Kraken get 2027 2nd round pick, so still piling up the picks for Seattle there. Seem to be kind of going into rebuilding mode too. Leafs got Scott Lofton and a 4th round picks and a 6th round pick. From the Flyers, get Nikita Gribikin.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. And conditional 2027 1st round pick retains 50% of Lofton's salary. There's another big one right here. The Stars get Mikko Rantanen, and the Canes will get Logan Stankoven, who I really like that guy too. I think this is a good trade for both teams, I feel like, man. I feel like the Stars get a guy that I think could be a superstar in the league as long as you pay him and treat him right. I think Logan Stankoven's a good young player that can go over and help that Hurricane squad. Plus, the Canes pick up 2 first-round picks in 2026 and 2027 and 2 third-round picks in 2026 and 2027. As good as I think Mikko Rantanen can be, I think the Canes won this trade, man.
Sorry.
What do you think?
Talking college of, I found College of Colorado hockey line on my book.
Did you find it? Gold paint game, man.
Plus 260.
Plus 260. That's what. There's Eric right there, man. There he is.
Yeah.
Good morning or good afternoon, pizza artist. But yeah, he was saying this morning it was plus 260, man. He said, go get it. They're on the road tonight.
I don't know. 260's a lot. Maybe the over. Over's juice though. It's like minus 135. Oh, I might take it up.
Take it up, bro. What is it at? 5.5 or 6.5?
5.5.
Take it up, bro. Take it up.
I would bet the Avalanche to win it. I think there's some value there.
I already did, man.
The trades they made.
I already did. Like I said, I already got the ticket on them at plus 1,400. They're still 10-1 right now. And we'll look at those in just a minute and see some teams we maybe see some value on. I do think there's value on the Maple Leafs at about, I think it was plus 1,200. I still think even though they're the second favorite, I think there's value on Florida at plus 750.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I really do. I really do. They're the second favorites, but like I said, I think that team has gotten a lot better. They were already really good. You got a great netminder. You got a great coach. You got veteran guys all around. Now you bring in another guy in Marchand, which could be really weird to see that guy in a Panthers uniform, but still great player, respected player in the league. Another big trade. Speaking of those Avalanche right there, they do get from the Bruins. The Bruins have just, I mean, I like what they got back here because I do like Casey Middlestat. Will Zeller's there, and a little piece you can add. 2025 second round pick, but you trade away Charlie Coyle, who's been a big part of that Bruins defense. And, I don't know, it feels kind of, Charlie Coyle's a two-way player. Two-way player that can give you a lot of different opportunities around the net, but he also, like I said, good on the defensive end as well. Been one of those guys for Boston that feels like one of those kind of heart and soul type guys too, man, along with McAvoy and Marchand, Pasternak. And now the only ones back right now are you got Pasta ain't going nowhere. They won't let Pasta get out of Boston. It sucks because I want that guy to get out of there so damn bad, but they won't let him. And McAvoy's still banged up, not going to play for a while. And now you've traded these guys away. It just feels like I bet Boston is a dreary place today, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they traded away 3 big pieces. What was it like seeing Stamkos in a Predators uniform?
I mean, it's, for me, like I said, it's weird, but for me, it was weird seeing any of those guys last night. You know what I'm saying? Because I've just been getting into this stuff the last couple of years, but it's just, I'd say that was a cool atmosphere, dude. That's a cool atmosphere in there. I mean, it just feels, it's pretty cool. I was already loving hockey, but now the more I've got into, the more I've dove deep into, I love seeing all the different little moves like this, little chess matches in hockey that you see. And the atmosphere last night, man, even with two teams that obviously became sellers at the deadline and are not really going to compete for playoff spot, even with those two teams, man, it was a great atmosphere last night.
Do you guys have like a semi-pro, or not a semi-pro, but like a minor league hockey team or anything? Chattanooga?
No, we don't. There's one in Knoxville. The what are they? Ice Bears or something?
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, we do not have any. I'm telling you, we don't have a rink in Chattanooga. There's nowhere they could play. Literally, they would have to build a rink to be able to have. I mean, you'd have to drive to Nashville, Murfreesboro, or something. That's what I've seen last night. We're at the Predators game, and they have a youth hockey shootout, which is crazy to me because now in Murfreesboro, which is in between Chattanooga and Nashville. But that's about the closest place you go. And we were kids, that was not there.
It's like fringe Nashville. It's like a suburb of Nashville.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's about. I usually look at Murfreesboro when I'm driving
30
to
minutes.
Nashville. It's about it's a little longer than that. Probably about an hour.
Where the cops, that's where the cops get you. Right there in that stretch.
It's usually a good spot to stop for a pee break and all that stuff.
There's an outlet mall there.
Yeah, got some of those. Yeah, that's where MTSU is too.
Middle Tennessee State. My brother almost went there.
Okay. And here's the other big one we were talking about. Brandon Carlo will be headed over to the Maple Leafs from the Bruins. The Bruins are going to get Fraser Minton and a first-round pick. And the Penguins will get, this is a 3-team trade. The Penguins will get Connor Timmins and Connor Dewar. So this is that's actually, they were not sure on the specifics of this a little bit ago on the trade thing. This was crazy, dude. The trade deadline was at 3 p.m. and they started announcing all this. They started announcing all this stuff at like 3:15 and everything. So I guess there was some crazy stuff going on. They didn't know who was getting what. They just knew Marchand was going to Florida. They had no idea. Looks like they're going to get a conditional 2027 second-round pick. But they didn't know any of this stuff. I mean, this is all coming in crazy. And I'm like, it was 3:30, and they said we might still have some trades. I'm like, how can we still have trades coming in? What's the deadline for?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got to gather the information before it's announced. But most of the deals are already done. You have to be.
I feel like you've had 5 months to do this. I feel like there's
sometimes
supposed to be a deadline for a reason, man. Y'all should have figured it out before 3 p.m.
Scroll up. There's been stuff coming in since we started.
That's what I'm saying. There's still a bunch of these trades. I haven't even seen some of these yet. And
those last 3 there are newer.
There's the Devils. They get Dennis Chalowski. The Islanders will get Adam Beckman. So once again, the Devils make a couple moves for defensemen that obviously good players. They play in the NHL, not scrubs, but not guys that just shake the earth. Doesn't feel like they're making the moves that they need to.
Oh,
you don't got it. You didn't get anybody to replace Jack Hughes or even some of the productivity.
Be hard to replace him.
Exactly. But you got to at least make. I don't feel like getting 2 defensemen gets you anywhere close to that.
Yeah. I think they just kind of lost hope after he went down.
I think you're right, dude. That's another reason I'm kind of on the fade train with them. I'm going to be on the fade train against the Devils and the fade train against the Bruins because both these teams feel like, the Devils obviously still scrapping, still right there in the mix, much more so than the Bruins. But both of them feel like they're kind of waving the white flag, man.
Yeah, the Devils didn't do anything to make you think that they're trying to win more than they were before the deadline.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there. I'm with you. The Avalanche is a team. I'm with you. I think that's a team that you can at least go out to look at. You get some good value on them to win the West. You get 10-1 on them to win the whole damn thing. They've got a lot of veteran guys, a lot of dudes that know how to win.
Leading point scorer.
So, I mean, you got all the pieces right here if you're Colorado.
I was looking at the points today, and like McDavid had like 79, I think. And like there's a couple guys in front of him in like the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, that's the gap between like, because he's a stud.
He is a stud. He's a stud. But yeah, no, I kind of, there's a part of me that's wanting to fade Edmonton right here. I thought Edmonton should have made a move. Stuart Skinner played well for him in the playoffs last year. He was able to kind of show up in spots. He got him to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals and all of those things. But
did they do anything?
No, not that I've seen, man.
The position they were in last year, how close they were. You would have thought that they would have went all in this year.
And I mean, maybe they just like what they have there. You know, I love Leon Draisaitl's playing Hart Trophy caliber hockey this year. It
I
really
think
is.
he was one of the ones. Well, he's a top goal scorer, I think.
And
He's one of the top.
That's what I'm saying. On a team where you play on a team with arguably the best player in the world, and you've kind of stole the spotlight this year. Leon Draisaitl ain't no joke, dude.
Yeah.
And but I really thought they should have made a move for one of those. I don't know why they didn't try to talk more, kind of like the Blackhawks did. The Blackhawks got Spencer when they traded that trade with Florida. They traded Seth Jones over there, which is a big deal for Florida. That's another big name for Florida going in there. Defenseman Seth Jones. I mean, that allows them to bulk up that defense some. That dude ain't afraid to hit you in the mouth either. But I mean, they got Spencer Knight and a conditional first round pick, if I'm not mistaken, for that. And I'm like, wow, if I'm Edmonton, I would have made a phone call, man, and tried to get Spencer Knight on my squad. That's a dude that we've seen a lot of our buddies in here, a lot of our hockey guys that really like that cat. And I don't feel like near as many people made moves for that guy with some of these teams that I feel like have just middle of the road netminders. And they didn't even, I don't know why you were there. It is right there. Seth Jones and 2026 fourth round pick, for Spencer Knight. And they get a conditional 2026 first round pick.
Panthers, you can kind of afford to move Knight, I guess.
You can, but I mean, if you can't call them and be like, I mean, Edmonton had some pieces they could have got that dude too.
For Knight?
Yeah. I mean, this is a young dude that people have been raving about.
No, it's a good piece for Chicago.
Absolutely, dude. They got a young core. I'll tell you what, watch out for Chicago next couple of years. I know as bad as they've been this year and whatever, but they do have a lot of young guys. But they're another one that seems to be in the front office making some moves for the future. Blackhawks might be something to watch too.
Got a piece in the Bedard, you know.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. And you got to show a guy like that you know is going to be a superstar in the league. It's been highly touted for years. You got to show that guy you're willing to give him some pieces around him to give him a shot to play in the big games.
Meaningful hockey in his prime.
Yeah, because that's what he wants to do, man. That's what everybody wants to do that goes into the league right there. You want to be able to play in playoff games and playoff atmospheres and all that stuff and actually have a shot to win the ultimate goal. And I think Chicago's showing that that's the kind of thing that makes that guy, when it comes time to re-sign a contract, that's the kind of thing that'll make you a lot more loyal to that squad, you know?
To want to stay.
Yeah. Because they're showing they're willing to work with you. They're willing to, give you what you need around you.
That's how baseball players used to be. Like the era of like the Chipper Jones, who took less money to keep the team intact.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And I mean, that's you want to win. That's what it takes in a game where you have salary caps and all that stuff. You've got to be willing to take a little bit of a pay cut and sacrifice that to win.
You could be like all the money in the world. Defer.
What's that?
300. You could be like Ohtani and defer $300 million.
Right.
For like 10 years.
I don't need that money today. Yeah, I don't need that money today.
It's crazy.
But it looks like Avalanche do pick up Eric Johnson. Flyers will get Giovanni Smith. Rangers picked up Nicholas Iubi Kabul.
You don't even get a link on him.
Yeah, don't even have a link on that guy. The Sabres will get Eric Brandstrom there. So the Sabres are making some moves too. Blackhawks, more moves here. Getting Victor Soderstrom, Aku Rady, and Shea Weber's contract.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the Wasatch will get a 6th-round pick there. Senators, Fabian Zetterlund, Tristan Robbins to the Sharks. We'll get, Zach Ostapchuk, and Noah Gregor, and 2025 2nd-round pick. And there's the big Marchand trade and all that stuff. So that seems to be, I'd say we're probably about done. I would think that I don't know really what there's a deadline for if we're going to keep letting trades flow in here. I mean, I got a feeling you got to at least by 259 or whatever. You got to at least have those sent to the office and say, hey, we're working this out. And I guess you got to give a little bit of time for that, but I still feel like deadline. I mean, you had months to, you knew it was coming. And like they just called you last time. It's like, all right, deadline's tomorrow at 3. Figure it out.
You had something mapped out.
Yeah, most of these teams had all the GMs and stuff had a 10-day window there where you didn't have any kind of hockey going on. You should have been focusing on all this stuff in the Four Nations.
Agree.
So, well, let's look at some of these futures now because I do want to pull those up. The Stars are your favorite after the Miko Rantanen trade at plus 600 to win the whole thing. It's Patriot Stars. And the Panthers are 6 plus 650, not 750, excuse me. Still think there's value on the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Oilers, I don't think I'd mess with that. I really don't.
It'd be tough to get back.
I don't think they, like I said, I don't think they have the goalie to. I thought they kind of caught lightning in a bottle last year when that guy played really well down the stretch and was able to come up with some big games in the playoffs. I don't think he repeats that performance in the playoffs this year. I really don't.
Yeah.
There's your Avalanche 10-1. Capitals still 11-1. The Lightning, I think there's value on the Lightning at 11-1. They made a lot of moves. Like I said, a veteran squad that knows how to win. Hurricanes, I'm not sold on the Hurricanes yet. Golden Knights been great at home, but had their struggles on the road. Didn't make any real noise shattering trades. The Maple Leafs is another team I think there's value on at plus 1,200. I still think the Jets have been one of the most complete team all year long, and you got Connor Hellebuck, who has been the best goalie without a doubt this year. So I think at plus 1,200, there's still value on that team too. But beyond that, man, you see anybody down the line that maybe worth a sprinkle some of those longer odds? I don't know to win it. I mean, I don't see anybody down there.
Jets is probably as far as you go.
I think so, man. I think beyond that, the Kings, I've seen the Kings struggle too much. Like, I can't trust that team. I know they've been solid, but I've seen them kind of struggle since that Four Nations break, and I don't have a lot of faith in that team. Obviously, the Devils we talked about, I think they're a fade going forward. Minnesota Wild have dealt with the injuries with Kaprizov, and he should be coming back any day now. But at the same time, not really a team you can trust. The Rangers have been a disappointment this year. Senators made some moves there, like Brady Tkachuk, but I don't know that you got even no more than $2 on that damn thing at plus 5,000 if you do anything. The Canucks have seemed to become more sellers at the deadline here. I really thought that we would see something happen with Brock Besser, but I haven't heard anything on that yet. So maybe they decided to hang on to him or just couldn't get a deal in place before the deadline. But I really thought we'd see Brock Besser go somewhere. You saw JT Miller go back to New York earlier in the season over from Vancouver, and they seem like they've had some inner locker room issues, and nobody's on the same page up there in Vancouver, it feels like. And then they
ran
go
you out of town.
It is what it is there. But I think that they feel like a team to me too. That I was watching their GM a little bit ago, and I think some of the guys that they wanted to trade, the other teams weren't looking. Maybe they wanted to try to move Brock Besser, but they weren't getting back what they thought they should for him.
Yeah.
And so they wound up, some of those deals got shut down.
Tight.
So I'm with you. I think that past the Jets at plus 1,200, I think you got value on both the Maple Leafs and the Jets right there. I think you got value on the Lightning. I think you got value on the Avalanche. And I do think even with them being the second favorite, I think there's value on Florida because I think of all the teams that surprised me at the trade deadline for the better, Florida Panthers are probably that team.
Yep. Proven winners.
So, yeah. So that's what we've had in the trade deadline for today. Look at that, man. We talked hockey trade deadline for 40 minutes, Steps.
There you go.
Well,
you did most of the talking. I did most of the listening. I'm still learning.
Hey, we're learning, man.
I know way more hockey and names and people than I did 2 weeks ago.
100% you do. I'm proud of you. You really have. I tell you, I messaged you, text you a little bit ago. You only had about 45 minutes. I said, hey, try to read up on the trade deadlines on the big trade. You came in here with your A game, sir.
Well, nothing compared to you. You can just talk. You could talk about it for days.
Oh, man. That's all right. I just love sports, man. Just love sports. Yeah. Let's look at some of these lines for tonight. We do have some games tonight, and I'm always kind of leery to bet on games on days like today because you really don't know what you're getting out of any of these damn teams. Some teams may be uber excited about some of the guys they're bringing in. You got guys on flights trying to get there and everything. They won't be playing tonight, but I'm always kind of leery about days like this. So you see anything on the action report, some spots you really like? I got a couple I do like, but
the Wild was one of the top plays of the day. Looks like it's regressed from that. I know they were closer to even. It looks like
the line moved out, and I think I saw it plus 102 earlier.
Yeah, so it's at plus 110 now. Let me see. where they have the money. Because you know how the NHL is on action.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
And
Damn. Utah, they're big favorites. Blues are big favorites. It looks like the Wild are probably the only price team that would be worth putting any money on, because you're not paying the juice on a Utah money line. You're not paying the juice on the Blues. Maybe the Blues puck line. I don't know.
I'm
How you
actually
feel
on
about that?
I'm actually on the other side, man. I kind of like Ducks
Ducks
back at
playing
home
back
now.
to back, aren't they?
I kind
Oh no,
of
they had yesterday off.
Yeah, that's what I say. They were in the middle of that road trip and they played a couple. I kind of like telling a team when they've been on a road trip, and it was a decent road trip. They didn't just get blown out. They had the big win over Edmonton, and then went to Vancouver and lost that one in OT, I believe it was. So they played well on the road stretch there against pretty decent teams. And now you get to go back home. But I like what the Blues have been doing lately too. But they have been on a road. I feel like they've been on a 4 or 5 game road stretch themselves. You gotta feel like a little worn out. A lot of different things going on the last couple of days. A lot of emotion and different things. But the Blues didn't really make any big time moves, so they should still have their core group of guys. The Ducks did trade some guys away, but they didn't trade any of the core away. But yeah, I think I like the Ducks right here. Plus 1. I've seen it set at plus 130 all day long. Hadn't really moved. You got any money? What's the money doing on that Blues game?
I know there's big money on the puck line. 54% of the bet, 86% of the money that is on the puck line, minus 1.5 for the Blues. But as far as money line goes, it looks like 81% of the bet, 90% of the money is on the Blues. Minus 155 is currently the best odds. There is a nice little line here on the spread for the Jets, Winnipeg. You can get their puck line right now plus 210. 45% of the bets, so less than half the bets, but 77% of the money is on the Jets.
Puck line?
Puck line.
I kind of like that too, dude. Because like we said, we just talked about fading the Devils, and don't feel like that. Even those two dudes they got, they won't be playing tonight.
And
I wouldn't think.
I took the Jets money line earlier at minus 115. It's out to minus 124. So maybe I'll just do a half unit on the puck line.
Yeah, you put the half unit on the puck line, still clear unit profit if you win.
Yep.
So nothing wrong. And what about the? I think I like the Blackhawks money line tonight too. You got the Utah Hockey Club on a back to back. We're up in Detroit last night. Did win that one 4-2. Came through. I ended up betting that puck line. It came through for me. But I feel like this Blackhawks team is a little excited right now, dude.
Utah's got 80% of the bet, 84% of the money currently at minus 167. So that's
let's go. What could go wrong?
Right? People laying a lot of money there and laying some juice with the Utah Hockey Club.
And Spencer Knight will be between the pipes for the Blackhawks this evening.
I think I took that one.
I like the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'm on the Blackhawks. Winnipeg and Caps minus 1.5.
You are on the Caps minus 1.5. I'm kind of watching this Cap. I don't know what to expect from them. Like I said, you got the Ovechkin stuff going on. They've been great all year long. We know they're going to make the playoffs, but for some reason, dude, they just haven't looked great. They still won some of the games. They've been, have a game like against the Senators where you get up 4-0 or something like that, and you let them come all the way back and tie it up. You do wind up winning in a shootout, but at the same time, it's got to be a bit alarming there. You look real good for a period. You look real bad for a period.
The better play there looks like the over 6.5. It's 6 at some books, but you got juice there. So I've learned you don't bet the 6, you bet the 6.5.
That's right, baby. I do like that, those steps. Even money to the over right there. It does feel like a game we could see some goals in. Yeah, like I said, Red Wings on a back-to-back. I do feel like the defense lacks a little bit on the back-to-backs, more so than the offense. So I think I like the over there. I expect some goals in that. You got the Capitals who can put up I think they lead the league with 5, 7+ goal games this year. So we know the Capitals can cover the damn thing by themselves.
Yeah.
On any given night. I'll ride with you on that Jets puck line because I'm probably going to put the full unit there. Rather than go the unit on 120 minus 125 and the half unit, I think I'm just going to put the full unit on Jets minus 1.5 plus 210 because I think I am going to fade the Devils going forward. They didn't do enough for me at the deadline. I like the Blackhawks money line plus 145 right there. Like I said, especially with Spencer Knight in the pie. I tell you, I don't think you really want to fade those Blackhawks with that guy right now. He's got to be another guy that feels kind of rejuvenated here. You're down there in Florida, you're behind Bob. You're not going to be the starter over that guy for at least a couple more years. And so now he goes to a new spot. He's playing with young dudes. You got, like I said, with Connor Bedard, who's it's got to be exciting to do all that. And I feel like this guy's a little rejuvenated right now. So I think when that guy's in the pipes, I think you bet the Blackhawks.
I props in that game. I took Bedard for an assist at plus 150, Gunther for a goal plus 160, and Donato over 2.5 shots on goal plus 131.
Gunther scored last night, didn't he?
Yeah. Remember we talked about when he scores, it's typically.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's right. You say he likes to pile them on a couple days.
Yeah.
He might go a 4 or 5 game stretch without scoring one. And then I like it, man. I do feel like certain guys are like that, little momentum based.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take the Ducks plus 130, but the line's set pretty still from what I've seen. Unless it moved when I was snoozing, but I've seen it at plus 130 this morning.
Looks like the best play there would be the puck line on the Blues. You got 54% of the bets, so about half of the bets are on the Blues, but 86% of the money is on the puck line there. But I mean, you're laying some juice just to get plus 1.5 on the Ducks, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I'm never going to lay minus 198 on. The only way I'm ever taking a plus 1.5 is if it's plus money.
Oh, of course.
And then the Wild here at the Canucks, Wild plus 110. I think it's moved out some. It was plus 102 earlier today. And it's moved to plus 110. But once again, the Wild's a team. Let me look and see. I know Kaprizov's supposed to be back soon. They said beginning of March, but I haven't heard anything, and he is not going to be back. I feel like that'll be some news, like some breaking news when he comes back out. Like he's going to be, they're going to let us know that he's in the game.
I think the Wild's the right side here. 31% of the bet, 44% of the money. And there's been several sharp moves on the Wild. That was a indicator last night on the pro projection. So it stayed strong since last night up until today. So
that's right. Bird Hunter, that's one of my hockey guys right there, man. He says Blues playing really good right now. No, I'm excited, man. I took them like right after the Four Nations break at plus 900 to make the playoffs. The other day I saw they were down to plus 550. I don't know if it's gone down more than that, but it's going the right way for us. And he says Bird Hunter took Caps team total over 3.5, and he likes the Jets as well.
In the Blues Anaheim game, I took Neighbors to score a goal plus 300.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
Blues Anaheim. I learned about Corsi.
Okay.
Do you know what Corsi is?
I don't. Tell me.
So it's just like having the puck in the zone, just like the amount of time that you have it in the zone to create shots and whatnot. And I believe St. Louis is one of the top. I think it was St. Louis that I was reading is one of the top teams for that, and Anaheim's one of the bottom teams in allowing it.
Okay. I like when you find these little gems and stuff like that, man.
Just data, just collecting data, reading things and utilizing data and numbers to, analytics. Some people don't like it, but it is what it is. If you don't watch everything, you don't know about it. Listen.
Here's the thing. You don't have time to watch all of this stuff.
It's only so much line movement and studying line movement and where the money is and who's betting and why it's moving. And you can literally not know anything about two teams and make a good bet based off of where the money is and how it's moved and whatnot.
You can. You absolutely can, man. 100%, because the best people to be telling is the book. Because they are not
literally just fade you could literally just be on the book side with everything. And I mean, you're not, obviously if it was that easy, everyone would do it, but I mean, it's a good start.
A lot of times to be on the side of the book though, you got to make some really, really gross picks. A lot of people are afraid to do that, man.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think too, they're trying to make a payday, but they also have to sometimes even out the money.
Yeah. And I think I use a little bit of all that, man. I am about the data. I like the numbers. I do think there's a lot to read into all that. I do think there's something that goes into actually watching the games and getting a feel for certain teams and realizing certain situations they're going to be better in. But like I said, it's impossible to be able. There's only so much time in the day.
College basketball.
You got college basketball. You got
no
NBA,
way you can watch all those games.
NHL. You got all. I mean, and all this stuff's playing simultaneously each night. So you got to flip over and catch you 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. And you're going to pick up little tidbits and things like that. But it's impossible to watch all these damn games. Here's the thing for me. I can't go back and watch these after they're completed. Like I can't just go back. A couple years ago, my buddy Cody, they got us one of the NFL package things so you could go back and like watch the game. I can't watch that game again on Tuesday after I already know who won on Sunday.
Listen, there's a reason Kim Palm costs as much as it costs, right? And secondly, their interface isn't anything special. Like they're still like
It's
you know what
very,
I'm saying?
very plain Jane, but it's clean and it gets the point across. You
Yep.
know what you're looking for. It does a good job of explaining the different metrics they use in the different categories, and they'll give you the actual formula for how they calculate this stuff. Good, very plain Jane, very simple to the point, but gets the job done.
Yeah.
So no, I love Ken Palm, dude. I'm a big fan of that. Well, that's what I'm gonna roll with in hockey tonight, y'all. I will. I'm gonna go with that. I didn't think I was gonna bet anything tonight, and I'm gonna bet 5 out of the 6 game steps. So we're gonna go with over in the Red Wings Capitals, over 6.5 at even money. I like that Jets puck line. I'm gonna ride with steps on that -1.5 plus 210. I do like the Blackhawks money line plus 145, and then the Ducks money line plus 130 at home against the Blues. And I'm gonna go with the Wild money line at those Canucks tonight plus 110 as well. Run down hockey for them, man. We'll jump over to these other sports.
I got 10 of them going right now. Three of them are Bukus.
All right.
So Buku gave me Washington puck line. It was at plus 117 when we took it. Winnipeg money line -117. Now we talked about taking the puck line at plus 210. And then the Blackhawks at plus 148. That one, best odds right now, plus 140. Oh, you got it at 145 there. Got a lot of props. Highshire over 2.5 shots on goal plus 120. He's for the Devils, correct?
I believe so. Yeah, sounds right.
Bedard for the Blackhawks over 1 assist plus 150. Gunther for Utah goal plus 160. Donato over 2.5 shots on goal. He plays for the Blackhawks, I believe, correct?
Donato?
Yeah. This one I'm not too sure about. Eichel over 3.5 shots on goal plus 141. Rossi over 1.5 shots on goal plus 110, and Neighbors to score goal plus 300.
Okay. I like that. I do. Donato does play for the Blackhawks, sir. Ryan Donato?
Yeah.
Blackhawks. Okay, man. Okay, cool. We got some plays on the ice tonight, man. Love that. Like I said, I hope it don't go the wrong way, because it's a weird day. It's always a weird day on trade deadlines and different fields and different arenas, and some people are real excited, some people are real upset. So we'll see how it goes, but we got to have some skin in the game. Let's show over at college basketball, see if we can find not a big slate tonight. You got some of these conference tournaments that are in semifinals / finals and all that. We'll have some teams that punch their ticket the next couple of days. But you got all the bigger conferences wrapping up conference play. They usually, I think, about every team in the major conferences has 1, maybe 2 games left. You might have some of these Big Ten teams like Purdue and Illinois that play tonight that may have a game on Sunday too. But for the most part, down to the last game. You got anything you're looking at college hoops tonight, sir?
Yeah, I like Purdue plus 4.5.
I saw that in this earlier. I told y'all this morning. I thought this line would move down to 3.5. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry about that.
There you go.
But this line, it really ain't moved. It's still, this morning it was -4. They were showing you -4.5 at -105. All they've done now is flipped it down to -3.5 at -118, which is the exact same thing. You can go get the alt line of -4.5 at -105 right now, just like it was this morning. So that line ain't moved at all, really, from what I've seen on DraftKings. What have you seen as far as money and stuff goes on that game, Steps?
Let me pull it up. While I'm pulling it up, I also like North Dakota State, even though that is confusing.
I like that over in that South Dakota North Dakota State game. We talked about this morning. It went down. I think it opened at 165, went down to 163.5, but it's since gone back up to 166.5, and it's juiced to the under, which makes me feel like they're trying to lure you into taking it.
Purdue opened at plus 3.5. Currently, best odds you can get are plus 4.5 at -105. 64% of the bets and 53% of the money is on Purdue. Action Pro Line has that at plus 2.5. So, little 6% edge there.
Boy, and Purdue looked really good the other night against Rutgers.
You know anything about Longwood?
I don't, man.
Don't they play in your area?
Shit, Steps.
The game is it's a tournament, and it's in Tennessee. And Freedom Hall, Johnson City.
They might be, let's see where they're from. They might be part of what their conference. What are they? Maybe
they're playing Winthrop.
I don't even know what conference that is.
Well, Johnson City, Tennessee's in a country song. I do know that.
It looks like. Let's see.
Oh, it's in a Darius Rucker song, I think.
It's in Farmville, Virginia.
There you go.
Yeah, looks like what I'm seeing here, Longwood University.
Well, the conference tournament is in Johnson City.
They're in the Big South Conference.
Figured you might know something about that game.
No, man. Like I said, a lot of those right here, even in I feel like the smaller conference tournaments, you tend to see the cream rise to the top there, the 1s and 2 seeds. You will get every now and then you get a 6 seed or something running through that. But it's like last night, I think Lipscomb was playing Queens, New York or something, and I think Lipscomb was the number 1 seed, and I don't know if they wound up winning that thing or not. I know it was tied at the end, but you have weird games like that in these things. It's March Madness. I mean, it's that time.
Mm-hmm.
What about the what's the money doing? What did you like anything in that game? The Longwood game?
I was looking at Longwood's money line. You get it like plus 165. Yep, looks like the pro line's at plus 120. So
okay, got some value. Okay.
Yep.
What about the total? I think I like the over in South Florida and Memphis. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw it was at least 151.5. It may have been at 150.5 for a little bit this morning, but I feel like it's gone up at least a couple points.
152.5.
So what are you? What's the money doing there?
66% of the bet, 69% of the money is on the over. Action Pro Line's 148.3, 3.7% edge on taking the under here.
Okay.
My dog's going crazy.
I don't even hear him this time, man. And what about? We talked about South Dakota and North Dakota State. Is there anything happening on the total in North Dakota and South Dakota State? Because I think it's sit there at 154.5.
Yeah, opened at 155.5. Best odds you can get right now are over 154.5. Pro line has this set at 161.5. So looks like you get a 6% edge there, graded out as a B.
So we like the over.
Yep.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
I mean, I'm not taking it, but if you're gonna bet it,
kind of the way I was leaning anyway. And if I'm usually leaning that way, and you give me some confirmation that I can respect, I usually wind up rolling with it. So I probably wind up being right on the number. But what about? Haven't you taken a few of these Boise State unders?
Yep, I took
What's
one.
That one looking like tonight with Colorado State?
Right now it looks like all the money's on the over. 75% of the bet, 78% of the money is on the over. And the line is currently sitting at the same as it opened, 141.5. So even though all that money's coming in, it's still sitting there at 141.5.
All the money came in on what? On the over?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Again, not sure how many bets are
Yeah.
collected on this one. It is late night, so
yeah,
10 o'clock start. But still, I mean, you would think that would at least move it a half a point.
You would think that it would.
So
they don't seem to be too scared of it. B-Mac says Roanoke, Virginia is in that same song. That's where he's from. Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's really all. I mean, like I said, not a big slate. You got quite a few games, but a lot of smaller schools. What is let me ask you about this one because I'm kind of curious. What about VMI?
Virginia Military Institute. Oh God.
Yeah, -6.5 against the Citadel's not great, but I
you
feel like
want the spread.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. I mean, there can't be very many bets on that game.
Citadel's not great, but I feel like that line's a little small, man.
VMI would be the play. It's. I mean, you're not getting much of an edge here. It's 0.5% edge. Pro line set at -7.3. Best odds right now, -6.5.
Yeah, well, someone -6.5 at -102. That's probably one I just
no bets, no money tracked on it, which means there's probably not that many bets.
Yeah, let's just leave that alone. We don't want to be the one bet on that damn game.
No, because I'm on one like that right now, and it's stupid. And I knew I shouldn't have bet it I did anyways because I just wanted some action. It's North Carolina A&T. I bet the over. It was 123.5, and it's like 12-5.
Dude, it's 15-10 with 7.5 minutes left in the first half.
There you go.
Oh my God, dude!
It was one of those like where both teams were such a train wreck on unders. Like that's all they do. I was just like, and that I get it. That's why the total was 123.5. But still,
dude, we can still take the under in that one. You think you can live bet and hedge out and take the under? That teams ain't breaking 100, dude.
That's sad.
They're at 113.5. It's the total at 113.5 right now, -120 the under, and it's 17-10.
I'm hoping tournament time. Another thing I was thinking, if it's close and they start fouling and shit at the end, trade off the buckets. You know how it is that in tournament.
It is a close game, and that is a really low number. And we're overtime or something stupid. And I mean, it's and now that we've said that,
there it's climbing, baby. Let's go. We're hitting some threes.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I love it.
I mean, it's gone up 4 points in just a couple seconds. Yeah, they hit back-to-back threes as soon as we start talking about them. You think
that's one thing you got to think about in tournament time, though, especially in NBA too. When they do that mid-season tournament, like teams are going to foul at the end just to like prolong the game. Like you see it in the NCAA tournament, they'll start fouling with 2 minutes left, and you'll get so many points in the last 2 minutes. Even down like 15 because it's the freaking end of their season.
Well, dude, that's like, yeah, you're right. That's one thing you got to look at when you want to bet unders in these things because teams don't want the season to end. But like the other night, we looked like we were in a little bit of trouble. It was a sweat in that damn Florida and Alabama over.
Oh, the end of that.
And they scored so many points in the last 2.5 minutes, dude.
It looked like it wasn't even going to get close to the.
It looked like it wasn't going to get close. It went over by 15 damn points.
I know. I couldn't believe because like with 2 minutes left, didn't one team like have 70-something points?
I don't know if it was. We were with about
maybe 79.
Just under 2 minutes left. We still were double digits away from getting there.
I felt like it was like 86 to 79 or something.
It was close to that, bro. It was real close to that.
And it ended up being 90-something to 91.
Yeah, 99 to 94 was the final. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we were still 10 or 11 points away with about 2 minutes left in the game. And I'm sitting here sweating. I was talking to Bird Hunter back and forth, and I was sweating it. And yeah, bro. And they just piled up points the last couple minutes. But you're going to see that this time of year. What up, Nilo? He says, I am Nilu, an international chef. I cook German, Persian, English, Chinese, and American cuisine. Please follow me and make me happy. Y'all go give Nilo a follow over there, man. Good to see you, bro. Good to have you in here. Love new faces. But yeah, no, you're up to 36 points now, Stephs. It's going back up. It's teetering between.
Let's go. The second half, they're going to score
more times than not. Y'all may not believe this, but you can look at it. More times than not in basketball, the highest scoring half will be your second half. That's why I never like having an under and seeing them halfway there. What are you doing there, bro?
Hey.
What's he doing? What are you doing?
One, we can't hear you. Two, you're super delayed.
You hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you. What you doing, man? Look like the sun shining out there, bro.
Just fire off the trigger.
Let's go, man. Nice weather.
Cook us some chicken.
Yeah, it's 40 degrees, so it's nice weather. Fire the grill up. You can go outside.
It's 47.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's 47.
Bro, that's a heat wave for up there this time of year.
That's why we're firing up the trigger.
That's right, baby.
You know it's warm. This is how I tell you when it's warm. When I turn on the trigger and it doesn't have to go through the cold weather warm up. That's how you know it's warm.
It's just not. It's just not freezing. That's what you mean by not warm.
I was just tuning in to remind you guys, let me know when you're getting close to being done so I can end things. Not that you need to end anytime soon. Just remember to text me.
We probably, as long as Steps is good, we probably got another good 20 minutes or so. Why don't you talk some NBA and get some lines on that? So you got a few minutes, Steps?
I do. I got a nice NBA prop bet that I like tonight.
We'll run back down what we like.
We moved the ice tub in here. I got to fill it back up.
Your cold plunge? There you go, man. You got to get back on that cold plunge, bro.
Hey, I told Ace earlier to go get dressed. We went to the store.
Yeah.
He comes down. Let him pick out his own clothes. He comes down with his Go Big Orange shirt.
Let's go, baby.
That goes below his knees. And just as he's coming down, his grandma calls on FaceTime. She's talking to him. She's like, "What's that?" He's like, "Cricket got this for me."
Let's go.
And she's like, what does GBO mean? And he's like, my wife's like, "Oh, something like Go Big." And he goes, "Go Big Orange."
Yeah, he knows what it means.
Go, baby. Let's go, baby.
There he is.
He said, "Go Big Orange."
Give us a Go Big Orange, man.
Say "Go Big Orange." Say it loud.
Let's go, baby.
Distorted.
Let's go, baby. I love it, man. I love that, bro. What are we cooking on the trigger tonight, man?
Chicken. Tomorrow's tri-tip. Today's chicken. We're going to make half teriyaki, half sweet and sour.
Okay. Let's go, man.
Sounds good to me.
You know what my
Yeah,
wife says to me when I tell her that I'm cooking it? She goes, "What about the tri-tip?" I go, "Well, the tri-tip's defrosting today. We gotta do it tomorrow." And I go, "So I'm gonna cook chicken." She goes, "Do it better than last time." Damn it!
Tell her she just wants the tip.
just the tip.
Oh, she knows she has the tip.
That's where all the kids came from.
No, but last time was rough because I was dealing with a bunch of stuff and I left it on there too long.
Dried it out a
Today
little bit.
though,
Dude, you got to be careful with chicken, man.
little bit.
Chicken can dry out real quick, but you got to make sure you get that shit done.
Well,
too.
Yeah, I'd rather eat it.
I made a mistake.
Done
One,
than not.
I
Yeah.
didn't use a temperature probe that time. I just kind of winged it, eyeballed it. But two, it would have been fine had I not been watching Callahan.
It's fair. It's
You know
fair.
what I mean?
Kids will get
You know
you a
what I
little
mean?
preoccupied
Don't
sometimes.
blame it. Yeah, keep that one to yourself.
And the
No, I
couple
told
of
his face.
No, I'm saying just keep it to yourself.
Dude, look at that thing. Can you see that smoke? Can you see it?
we love
Yeah,
it, dude.
whenever I use mine, it's flames.
Oh, look at that. It smells so good. Let's get it going.
Oh, Cricket, my over's looking better.
They're getting closer, man. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Will had Steps had a game that he bet the over on, and a minute ago there were 7 minutes left in the first half, and it was 15-10. Yeah,
I was.
and since we started talking about it, they've been hitting all the 3-pointers.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
they're making
Yeah.
runs,
That's what
baby.
So, all right, well, we'll probably run about 20 more minutes here. We're gonna talk NBA, and then we'll wrap this thing up here shortly.
Take as long as you want. Just let me know. Give me a heads up like 2 minutes before you plan, so I can hop in there. Get her down.
I got you, bro. I'll let you
Something
know.
wrong with steps?
No, something's wrong with you. Oh God.
Hey,
This is a smart one.
I don't know anything about this. Y'all want to give your little Harry Potter story of
No.
what's going on? Because I don't know anything about that.
Save it for the show tomorrow.
God, that's so sharp. That's so sharp.
What is? Saving it for tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Before you move on from college NBA, I am on that over that's currently going on in the North Carolina A&T and Hofstra game over 23.5. I do like North Dakota State minus 2.5 and Purdue plus 4.5 was considering the Purdue money line. But is that one of those ranked teams is Illinois unranked?
Unranked.
But Purdue is ranked.
They are.
And they're
Either way, it would still be
they're still
lower ranked team favored.
So. All right, that's what I'm on for college. Let's talk a little NBA.
All right, we'll talk a little NBA, man, and then let's looks like the Hornets gone down a point here, man.
Yeah, I was watching that one. I bet so many Hornets games lately. It might be the water might be drying out in that well.
Yeah, I don't think I can trust that, dude. Especially the Cavaliers playing so well as double-digit favorites this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. I do like the Suns,
dude. I do too.
I am on the Suns tonight. That line did open at +9. It's down to +7. I'm not sure why it moved down there because not all the money, but it's pretty even split as far as the money goes. So maybe we got a player sitting or something in that game. But sharp money is on the Suns, and it looks like the pro model has it projected as Suns +4.5. And like I said, you can currently get them best odds right now at +7. -109. So it looks like it even went down a half a point here lately.
Yeah, and I'm showing 6.5 over there, and I was already kind of leaning that way because I think this is worth a sprinkle right here. If I got this pulled up, but I think yes on the Suns to make the playoffs at 10-1. I believe that's worth the sprinkle, sir. Half, I do. I think they're. I know they've struggled all year long, but I do think they got some studs. I do think Durant's a little extra motivated right now. Maybe he's getting over the whole little being salty about possibly being traded at the deadline and all that stuff. But, that was a big thing. You see things like the other night where they had that big time comeback in the fourth quarter against the Clippers. And we see this in professional sports all the time where you have a game like that where it kind of seems like the wheels are falling off her team. And they have a game like that where they come back and, get a big time win, come from behind, win in front of the home crowd. And it tends to kind of push that team over the top a little bit. And I think that may be what happens for the Suns here, man. I think at 10-1, it's worth at least a half unit to make the playoffs.
Yeah. West is tough though, man.
It is
tougher than the East.
And I'd have to talk to Will. I may be something I talk to him on the morning show tomorrow because he's better at all the different standings in the conference and divisions and things. So I'd have to ask him and see. We'd have to do the math and look and see because we're running out of games here is the thing. So how far behind are you? Are you in a spot where you have to win every night? They got to win more than they lose the rest of the way by a pretty significant amount, I think. But I just think they're going to get a little right, and I think tonight will be a telltale. If they're able to handle business and somehow even steal this one from the Nuggets on the road, then I think you did. And I think if you're going to bet it, you bet it now because I think if they do wind up winning that one on the road tonight, that the odds will go down.
Top play on the board, I don't really like. It's Mavericks plus 10. All the money, 71%, 75% of the money, 71% of the bet, 75% of the money is on the Grizzlies, which would be the reason for it moving out from -8.5 to -10, which -9.5 you can get at best odds at some books at -115, a little juice there. But I feel like a lot of this data probably collected with the Mavericks is not the roster, utilizing the roster that they currently have.
That's why I can't trust that team at all, dude.
Not right now, at least.
I feel like they've had the rug yanked out from under them. Well, you got, you trade Luka, you get AD in return, but he hadn't played a damn. He played a half or something since he came over for him, and then got hurt and been out ever since. Now you got Kyrie going down the other night with a torn ACL. This team feels like it has to be deflated, dude.
Yeah,
but at the same time, the Grizzlies, they're hit or miss too.
Yeah. Hornets second best play tonight, but I know, like I told you on the morning show, that they do typically cover these big lines, but I'm not just not going to chance it with the Cavs.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I can't bet against that record. The Cavs have handled business all year long as double-digit favorites. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd have to double-check it again, but I think we said it the other day, and I think it's some crazy number, man. I think they cover that at a pretty rapid rate when they're double-digit favorites like that. So I don't want to give you all a bad stat, but I know they've covered way more of those than they have not this year. And so I just can't trust that game. And I took the damn Hornets the other night when I thought that line was moving down when they played the Timberwolves and it got down to 8 and felt pretty good about it. And they got shellacked in that damn game, dude.
It wasn't double digits. That's why.
No. Yeah.
Spurs are up there. Utah's a play up there too, but I still don't trust it, even though they're playing the Raptors.
Yeah, the Raptors are bad.
They're both bad.
What is the money doing on the total in that Raptors Jazz game? What did it open at?
Let me check. Right now, it opened at 227. Best odds you can get is 228.5. So it moved up 1.5 points. 84% of the bet, 85% of the money is on the over. Action Pro line set at 227.8. So not much moving there.
Golly, dude, I know, and I've had such a hard time figuring out. Do we have any of those crazy reverse line movements today?
Yeah, it's just the Thunder Blazers, but I don't trust that one, so I'm stay away from that one.
What is that one doing?
That's the one that opened at 236.5, and they flagged it as reverse line movement because SGA is not playing, and then remember the spread also opened at like plus or minus something crazy, and then it went way down.
I'll be honest with you, dude. I think you take the Trailblazers in that game.
I'm just going to stay away from it.
And that's not a bad play either. Just stay away from that one. And maybe I do like Scoot. I'm a big Scoot Henderson fan, man. I like that guy. And they bit me the other night, and that I had a 9.5. They lost by 10 to the Celtics, but really I didn't even know it was going to be that close because they were getting blown out the whole damn game, and they must have just closed it late in the fourth quarter there to even get it close. So, but I also feel like the Thunder have. I don't think they're going to win the rest of them. And I feel like the best shot for them to lose one is when SGA is not out there on the court, because when that guy's out there, he'll just take over the game and score 50 points.
You know how it goes, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Set the star, bet the team. That's another thing. I can't do that. I can't bet.
That's why I said
I got to leave it alone. You're right.
Same thing with like the Knicks Clippers. That one's been weird, too.
Let's see who all's playing in that one.
We'll get there.
We'll get there in just a second. Hold on. Let me ask you about this one first, because I do think I like the Heat.
Line opened up at 3.5. Currently, best odds you can get -4.5 at 108. 62% of the bet and 59% of the money is on the Timberwolves. So
it's just moving with the money there.
Yep.
But we talk about how the Heat are a different animal at home. Timberwolves, another one, been hot the last couple games since Ant got his 16th tech and was suspended for a game, but he's came back, played very well since. But we always talk about the Heat being a different animal at home. I tell you what, I think I like it now. What about the total on that one?
Let me see. Total. Right now, 89% of the bet, 90% of the money is on the over. It opened at 214.5, and it has moved a half a point to 215. Even all that money there, it hasn't moved much.
So they're moving it with the money.
Not a lot, bit.
Not a lot though. And I do feel like the Heat games at home trend under.
It's a small number.
I might put a sweet little same game parlay in that one.
Yeah. Anytime the number's that low, I wouldn't look at the over.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's my thing. I can't. And then when it soars over, you got a couple games like that last night that were in this range right there, where you had that Celtics game move down 7 damn points and it soars over the original number. I'm always scared with these two teams in the NBA. It wouldn't surprise me if it goes under by 20. It won't surprise me if it goes over by 20. So I think I don't know. I think I kind of like the Heat right there. Timberwolves has been so hot.
Yeah, we talk about the Suns.
Yeah, we talk about the Suns. I think I'm gonna take the Suns tonight, dude. I probably shouldn't. I probably should. What I should do is just put the half unit on them to make the playoffs and leave the game alone tonight.
No, but I'm probably Suns tonight is the game, man. That's the only NBA play to play tonight.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna bet it. Like I said, I'm gonna bet that. I'm probably gonna go. I may just go half unit. I'll probably just go half unit money line. I'll put the full unit on the +6.5 and half unit money line. Anytime I'm taking the +6.5 like that, or something that's less than double digits, I'm gonna wind up putting a half unit on the money line. Now what were you said? Was there interesting stuff going on in the Spurs Kings? You said?
No, it was the Knicks Clippers.
Okay, what's that one doing?
I think it was Brunson hurt.
He twisted his ankle in OT last night. I think he still had 39 points, but yep, he has been since removed. He was this morning was listed on the player props, but has since been ruled out. I guess apparently it looked like it was a pretty bad deal when he rolled it. But like I said, he scored 39 points. He did take the last shot at the end, end of regulation, but he must have twisted it pretty early on in OT there. But yeah, he has since been removed. KAT will still be playing. James Harden coming off. I think he had his first 50-point game as a Clipper. Looks like Kawhi is going. So outside of Jalen Brunson,
that line moved 4 points after he got announced that he wasn't playing.
Was it 2.5?
It was 3.
3. And it moved out. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a fair adjustment there. I was thinking this morning when they had him listed this morning. Now maybe they already knew that he wasn't going to play, but they had him listed on player props and it was at +7. And now since they taken him off the player props, it moved down to 6.5, which would normally scare me. But if it opened at 3, they were already accounting for that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay away from that one.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. What was it? Anything happen with the total?
Total. Yeah. Total opened at 224. It's down to 218.5.
That's moved because of him being out.
Yep. And 95% of the money, 86%, or 95% of the bet, 86% of the money is on the over.
And don't let this is the same. Okay.
It's not reverse line movement because
it's not. This is the same thing that happened in the Celtics game last night where they ruled some guys out the last second. They thought they accounted for all these points, but you got to remember the other guys are going to step up and play tonight. Still professional basketball players, man. Can still shoot. It's really not that hard to get over 218.5. I really think the play in that one is probably over.
Yeah.
Because I think they've adjusted it too far now based off of one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the same thing they did in that damn Celtics game last night. And once again, it went over the original number. So, yep, I don't think I'll mess that. I ain't going to have a whole lot of action in the NBA now, it looks like tonight. I think I'm just going to roll. I'm going to take the Heat +4.5 per unit. I may put the whole unit on the Heat money line, but I'm going to go 1 unit on the +6.5 for the Suns and the half unit on that money line too. But that's the only thing I'm going to do in the NBA tonight.
Prop bet I put in, it has since moved. I got it this morning at 8.5. I got over 8.5 rebounds for Zach Edey. His pro line was set at 11.6. So still like it at 9.5. I think his rebound set at 9.5 as well. So I took the double at +240.
Okay. Who was that now? One more time.
Zach Edey for the Grizzlies.
I can't bet on him.
Yeah, I know you don't like him, but he's he's shown that he can score double digits, and his line's under
he
double
ought to
digits.
score. He ought to score 40 a damn game.
Well, tonight
he ought to
be
have
the
40
night.
and 20 every game. He ought to average that.
And remember, they're playing the Mavs.
That's true. They ain't got no big bodies.
Who's gonna guard him?
Yep, they ain't got no big bodies. That's a good point. That's a real good point, man. I do think I like that. What did you say? Plus 240 on that?
On the double, yeah.
Golly, how does that guy ever have? It ought to be minus.
It should be a double every game.
That's what I'm saying. It ought to be minus 240 for his.
He doesn't have to. He doesn't even have to jump to get a rebound. He can just put his arms up.
I think that guy's a freaking bum. I do. He's done better than I expected. I'll be honest. He's done better than I expected. I really didn't think he would sniff the damn court in the NBA. So I'll give credit where credit's due. He's done a little better than I expected, but I still think he's a damn bum. No, if you're 7'5", 7'6", you ought to be dunking it every time down the damn court. You should never lose a rebound. You ought to just hammer time posterize people every time down the court. And that guy don't do that.
Nope.
Ain't never done that. So, all right. Well, let's run back through our picks real quick, and we'll wrap this thing up. Will, if you're out there and you can hear us, we got to give me about 3 minutes here, and we're going to wrap this thing up. So go ahead and get ready to shut it down in the studio and all that. But tonight in the NBA, I'm going to roll with the Heat plus 4.5 for a unit and the Heat money line for a unit plus 154. I'm going to put a unit on the Suns plus 6.5 and a half unit on the Suns money line plus 225. So, Steps, give me your NBA, and then we'll move to college basketball.
Zach Edey over 8.5 points, but I still like it at 9.5 if it's there now. And then the double on Zach Edey plus 240, and then I like the Phoenix Suns. I got them at plus 7.5. Still like them at plus 7. You get them at plus 7.
All right. Let's jump over to college basketball. Let's see. Man, you wound up getting 58 points in that first half, Steps.
Yeah, it's looking decent.
It's looking a lot better than it was. They bumped it back up. Golly.
It's right where it was. You might as well bet it now.
Yeah. Is that what you got it at? 123.5?
Yeah. But yeah, look at that juice. You ain't paying that.
The under?
No, on the over. Oh, is it 105?
Yeah, it's only minus 105.
Oh, okay.
I might bet it now. I wish I was saying we could probably take the under. We said they weren't going to break 100, and hell, they started scoring all the three. Hell, I feel like Hofstra scored
a lot.
They scored like, hell.
Yeah, they were the one losing.
Were they losing?
Yeah, they were losing 12-5.
Jeez, man. They've scored 20 points in the last 5 minutes. That's what's crazy about college basketball, dude. You can't throw one in the ocean for the first 13 minutes, and then you just come out there, come hammering it back. That's crazy. I'm going to roll with the over in the North Dakota State game, over 166.5 at minus 105. And then I'm going to take the over 153.5 in South Florida and Memphis. Don't love that one, though, so be careful. This one I'm not taking. I don't know. It's set stale, and I feel like you're going to get to be right on the number, so I'm going to leave that one alone. And this one, I don't know either. I was just kind of clicking on that talk about it. So I think I'm only going to have 2 plays tonight in college basketball. I'll ride with you on Purdue. Steps.
All right. Purdue and North Dakota State are my 2 plays in college basketball.
I'll ride with you on Purdue. I think I'm just that's
one. I can't go back through an NHL. I got too many plays.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll run through mine real quick, and because I don't have all the different. But yeah, I'm gonna go over in South Florida, Memphis. Take Purdue for a unit plus 3.5, and Purdue on the money line plus 154, and the over North Dakota State game over 166.5. And the NHL, I'm like the over in the Red Wings Capitals over 6.5 plus at even money. I like the Jets puck line minus 1.5 plus 210. Gonna ride the Steps there. I like the Blackhawks money line plus 145 at home against the Wasatch. And I like the Ducks money line plus 130 at home against the Blues, and the Wild money line on the road at the Canucks plus 110. So that's what I'm on this evening, y'all. Like I said, I'm not going to have time to type them up and everything today. I'm still recovering from our little hockey experience last night. So I'll get all the numbers done for this tonight, and I will start typing them back up for y'all tomorrow. We got a pretty big slate. Like I said, the slate's still kind of small tonight, so I ain't going to have time to type them up. But that's what I'm on this evening, y'all. So good luck to everybody. Steps, tell the folks where to find you.
At heavy_steps, all platforms.
At heavy_steps. You can find me at Cricket1414. Cricket is spelled with 2 T's over on X, but the only platform you'll find me on. But then you can also find me at sportspicks.locals.com, where we have the great Robert Barnes making the official picks. You can come over there and sign up for those. And that man's been crushing it, man. Getting geared up for March Madness and all that. So come check it out, sportspicks.locals.com. But we will be back with y'all bright and early in the morning at 7:30 or 8 a.m. Eastern, whatever Will decides to do, for your Sports Morning Espresso Shot. And are you in there, Will? Are you going to be able to cut this thing off in the studio?
I texted him.
You did? Okay, cool. Well, all right, y'all. Good luck to you this evening, all of your wagers. You and your beautiful families stay safe out there. We'll see you bright and early in the morning for the espresso shot. But until then, good luck, good gambling.
And game on. Didn't have my thing on for you.
You didn't. Threw me off.